welcome tonight. We've made it in here. Woo! It was a roll to get here. Been loading up some extra stuff from Zhenya tonight and from Ukraine, and believe me, 5-minute late start. I thought I was going to be 15 late starting, but 5-minute late start is going to be well worth what you're going to hear tonight. So big hello to all of you. King Raccoon, first one up in here tonight from across the pond there in Great Britain. Welcome to you, my friend. NXSTY, yo, early today. Welcome to you, buddy. Rick Berry, Slava Ukraina, and to that I will say Geroim Slava, Andrea Shove, Pat Shove, JJB, my friend from down under, Clifton Tavernia. What's up, Clifton Tavernia? I love seeing your name that way. Ricochet, welcome to you, my friend. Audio's off a bit. I think we're okay. I'm looking at my stuff here. Let me know if it keeps that way. Forest Hill, California, Jeffrey Burnett, our moderator up in here. Welcome to you. Stephen Phelps, up north of San Francisco. Welcome to you. Greg, your voice is distorted on my... Shouldn't be, but let's see here. Hey. This is what happens when you load up video right at the end. See if that's making a difference for you guys. Audio's off a bit. When y'all say off, let's fix it, because it's going to be really good tonight, what you're going to hear from Zhenya. Should be getting better now, I think. 1 second. Let me check one more thing here. Let's do that. All this pre-testing happens. Better now, better. Beautiful. All right. Things get bumped. We were loading up a lot of stuff. So welcome to everybody. Voice fixed. A lot of buttons over here, as you guys know. So thank you for that, and thank you for being here. All right, we're going to jump right into it tonight. First of all, I do want to give a big... Oh, Shirley Phelps up there in Washington State. Welcome to you, my dear friend. Good. Glad everything's good. Thank you guys for letting me know. Chill Dude, welcome to you. Lynn, you and Harold down there in Virginia, bless you. All right, so guys, here's the deal. A lot of stuff to cover tonight, and some interesting things, and that's why we're calling it a full update. We're going to go over the last 48 because there's some interesting things that happened, plus what has unfolded here in the United States. Additionally, what's happening with Poland and some other nations. And tonight, Zhenya going to be speaking directly to some of these key issues from the Ukrainian perspective and what they're talking about inside Ukraine. So thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to share, like, comment, do all of those things. I will finish this stream tonight, sleep for a couple of hours, and then I will be heading in the morning back to California. I'm heading to Los Angeles and speaking there on Sunday. Red eye out Sunday night. I'm basically gone 24 hours, just the other side of the country. And we'll be here Monday night as normal, and all is well. If something unfolds, we can go live from even California. So here we go, guys. Right now, the biggest battle, and we're going to look at the front lines, the biggest, largest, most vicious battle right now in the entire front is in Klishivka. You may say, okay, I see the train and I see those letters that I don't understand. Yes, that's what we see. So in English, it's Klishivka, where the arrow is pointing. You may say, okay, well, where is that at? Well, it's just below Bakhmut. So if I come to the map here and we go into Bakhmut here, of course, Bakhmut, the city taken. Russia's made some pushes here to solidify the city line. But Ivanivsky, remember, that's the support town. These are all the areas we work. But if you come down right here, so just due south of Bakhmut, this is Klishivka. And Russia is trying to push back into Klishivka. So there's a very intense battle. And what they are actually battling over right now is a railroad crossing. And I mean right now. So if I go to this map, Here's Konstantinivka and Bakhmut, and then you see Klishivka. I'm going to show you exactly where the battle's taking place right this minute. Literally this minute. If we go back to here, you see Klishivka's kind of this long, narrow village. It's right on this northeastern end. If we come back to this, you can see now Klishivka. And right here, you guys see this? This is a railroad crossing. It's not even a crossing, but this, there is a crossing there, but it's just minor. There's a little station for the stop. It's just a little village. This is the battle right now. They are at this end of the village ripping it, and it's very, very intense fighting there. And you guys just look at the terrain. A lake here, railroad tracks. This land here will have some up and down a little bit, but you can see farmland, and Klishivka is just a couple of streets. A few hundred people live here typically, and agriculture. These villages support the agriculture. So this is the battle right there. It's very, very strong. And I mean, bad right now. Let's go here. Let me pull out everything else on the front line. And if I go up to the north, all the way back to Russian line, Kharkiv over here to the left, and we just come down, Russia's still trying to push the same on the northeast. You know, the battle rages along all the front lines, but what we've basically had over the last 4 days are missile exchanges from both sides. Ukraine, drones and missiles. Ukraine hitting occupied territory that Russia has in Crimea and Donetsk and Melitopol. And, of course, Russia responding with some pretty serious missile attacks. We'll talk about those in a moment. As I come along, you can see this is Ukraine's push. This is still their largest push here out of Robitny. And you guys, as we looked at this a few days ago, you know, they're taking a little bit, but it's very tough and very slow. So that's where we're at there. Everything here is staying the same. And then you're all the way down to Kherson, which is absolutely being pummeled every day. So that's where we're at on the front lines. So that's Bakhmut area. Now, I want to review 48 hours ago when we were streaming, we reported and we shared with you and showed you video where Ukraine had struck the coastal towns, ports, airfields of Saki with drones and done some significant damage. Okay? Now, that's 48 hours ago. If you guys remember when the stream was ending, and you guys remember I was showing you the air raid alert, which I can show you right now, Zaporizhzhia and Kharkiv drones. So Zaporizhzhia, they're coming from Crimea, and Kharkiv, they're coming probably from Belgorod and Kursk. Because if it was both one direction, Donetsk and Dnipropetrovsk would be in there as well. So it's probably two batches of drones coming in right now. We'll keep an eye on that. But I showed you that. And remember, it was lighting up across. And I said, something's going to happen tonight. And it did. So Russia responded to that drone attack on Crimea, where Russia did some intense work. They also, and this didn't really come out, but this is the airport at Saki. They tore it up, and it really wasn't clear. But of course, Russia knew it. So they responded heavily. 12 Su-24 and Su-30s were there, many of them damaged. The Panzer S-2 air defense units, I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. One was destroyed. That is a place, the training place for Mohajer drones. Those are the new ones. Those are not Shaheeds. What Ukraine did was they threw a lot of drones. they overloaded the air defense, and then Neptune missiles took out these targets. The local channels there in Sevastopol reported 10 dead and 87 wounded. That was local Russian media. And listen, they're slow to report stuff. I'm going to prove that and show that to you, rather, in just a few moments. So that's the Saki airbase. If I come over to Google Earth for just a second and come out of eastern Ukraine, zoom on out. If we come down to Sevastopol, I'll show you guys where this is at. Actually, north of Sevastopol, you're going to see the town of, they hit Yevpatoria right here, and then the airbase at Saki. I know I'm on a bigger screen here watching, but you can already see it. It's right here. It's right beside Novofedorivka. This is the airbase right here. So if you have that image, take a look. Now, this is a 21 satellite image, but you can see where the planes park, where they're serviced or stored. You see also the brown repaired concrete, or maybe that is the roof of some type of hangar there. I think it's repaired concrete. I don't know why it's brown, because if it was a building, I don't think those planes would get by. They need to go up that side. If we go here, let's take a look. You can see there's the brown, and you can see the burnout planes, the destruction, the training. There's a facility there that was destroyed. They're saying it was a training facility for the drones. Regardless, this stirred some ire. Strategy spot on. Hit, overwhelm the air defense, exploit it to hit the high value targets. They did. They nailed it, and very successful. So that's what happened 48 hours ago. And then as we were going off the stream, I said, guys, I think it's going to happen, a big missile attack, and it did. This is a picture of the Panzer S2 and a description of it and what it can do. It's pretty decent air defense system. They destroyed one of these. Target range is 20 to 30 kilometers, 20 kilogram warheads. It's not the S-400 system or S-300 system, of course, but this is a mobile air defense. They call it the Panzer, and they call it in Ukraine, they call it a manpad. So that is one of the vehicles that was destroyed. So that's good. Now, what did Russia do? Well, it's interesting. Russia responded severely. 43 missiles launched. X-101s, KH-55s. And everyone keeps talking that they're running out of missiles. And we keep telling you they're not running out of missiles. They're not. They may not have, of course, the supply they had at the beginning of the war. I don't think anybody knows how many missiles they are. And for sure, 100%, nobody knows how many S-300 missiles they have. That's a fact. Nobody knows. So it was 43 cruise missiles, and there were 6, in addition, S-300s. Kharkiv was hit. Kherson, Cherkasy, Kyiv, Khmelnytsky, Rivne, and Lviv. There was debris that fell, caused quite a bit of damage in Kyiv with fires from deflections. There were quite a few taken out of the air and destroyed in the air. You still have the debris fall on the ground, but the warheads were destroyed. But 7 did hit target. Yes, some of those manpads are on top of the buildings in Moscow. That's correct. We've seen pictures of that. Now, I personally think that Russia did not just do that flex because of the attack of the drones. I think it was part a response. Equally, I think they were flexing because Zelenskyy was at the United Nations shredding them, and Zelenskyy was visiting in Washington, D.C., and I think they were spotting some weakness right now in a little bit of the coalition, whether that be Poland, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And Zhenya, if you're awake, you can call in, man. Just call me. Trying to respect your sleep there, 4:20 a.m. But if you call in, text me, and I'll bring you in if you want to, or up to you. So they're seeing weakness in the coalition. They're seeing weakness, whether it be with Poland or quite a few of the things that unfolded in the United States over the last couple of days. A lot of positive, but there is some reason for concern if we look at things honestly. So that's what happened there with that attack. In fact, here's a little bit of Kherson and some of the shelling it underwent on that day. There's subtitles here from Anton Gerashenko, but I'll read them out to you as well. Russia launched 52 strikes on a residential setting. It started at 3 a.m. They were hitting every 5 to 10 minutes. Of course people were awake. Nobody can sleep during attacks.
А ви говорите, да, ще й пожежа була?
Were there any fires?
Була пожежа.
Yeah, there was four fires.
Пожежі були.
That's Kherson. Now, what I just want you to be aware of for Kherson specifically, and I can go back here to the map. You guys know that is the city that's Russia did occupy. They left it. And when they did, we just believed at that point they were just going to leave it and shell it. And that's pretty much turned out to be the truth. Basically every day, Kherson is shelled. And basically every day, people are killed and wounded in Kherson every day. Here we go. Now you can see Zaporizhia, Donetsk, Kharkiv, Dnipropetrovsk, and Kherson region. Interesting that Zaporizhia, Donetsk, and Kharkiv are drones. Dnipropetrovsk is drones and missile, most likely S-300 being launched from Donetsk region. That's the warning, rather. Nothing about airplanes there yet. Oh, there you go. It just popped. Kherson airplane. So we'll see. We're watching. So I think personally there was multiple reasons for that big attack. So I can tell you guys right now that Budanov, great guy. I still think he's going to be replaced here in 3 to 6 months. My guess. However, Budanov does not call airstrikes. That's not his job. He has a completely different job. He has nothing to do with that. So whatever you're reading, be careful what you read, even what you hear. Budanov does not call any of that. Mykolaiv region now as well. Missile and airplane. So we may have something going on, and we're a little early in the stream, so we will keep an eye on it. Now, that's Kherson. We go back here. Ukraine responds. And they responded today by attacking, and that's what a lot of you guys are in there talking about. That is correct. He's security services and basically CIA, KGB. He's security services. He has nothing to do with what the military defense does. Zero. I promise you. Ricochet's right. Headquarters, Black Sea Fleet hit. Okay, so the rumors are rolling. Shoigu was there. Shoigu was not there. Okay. That's most of the stuff you guys see. Trust me, whether it's on Telegram channels you get on or very few sites that I know of in the United States that cover mainstream media, CNN, they cover it the most. But if you're looking at a lot of third-party sites, I'm telling you, half the stuff you read is not true. Never. And that's why I'm very thankful that we work in Ukraine and Zhenya's in Ukraine, and we can try to help clear the water for everybody. So headquarters, Black Sea Fleet was hit. Now, who may have been there, and we're waiting on confirmation, it's not Shoigu, but it's actually the 2-star general who oversees the Black Fleet based in Sevastopol. That's who was there. You say, well, how do you know that? I watched it on Russian TV. And if they say it to their own people, most likely, he really was there. And I'm going to show you guys something about that in just a second. So, we'll see if that's true, but that's what they're talking about. That's not Ukraine talking about it. Russian media is talking about that general is there. So here actually is the building strike. I've got a few videos for you. So this was really good. And once again, I draw your attention. It's a military target, not a residential building or a power station. Here. So this is it. It was hit. He mumbles something. I can't even understand. You see the fire burning inside. Now, I want to go to this. This is the moment of impact. They actually hit it twice with Neptunes. It had already been hit once, and then they hit it again. So, listen, that's precision work. I'm not a missile specialist, but that's precision. They hit the target they wanted to, and that is because that is Ukrainian land. And yes, they're going to have to tear up Ukrainian land to get their land back, but they're not going to try to kill people that are civilians. They smacked it. Yes, it was. Carl Elwell is right. That was a double tap. You know what that gets.
Slava Ukraini!
Now, here you go. This is what's interesting here now. Let me do this. Immediately, their media journalists start saying there were no hits, that the air defense took them all out. Now, you're going to see on the right side of it the strike again, but this is Ukraine. The air defense was doing nothing. This is Ukraine playing with them. They put the video of the strike to the right side of the guy talking, and he's on Russian TV, and he's saying, listen, air defense took care of everything. It didn't hit any of the targets. This is what came right after it. Here he is. Oh, let me back it up. He says, nothing hit anything, air defense took it off, all targets missed. So Ukraine puts that video over top of, and you can see where they overlaid that. Now, once that happened, then Russia rather, they own up to it, and they tell the truth to their people. And how do we know? Look in the upper right corner. This is TASS, State News Service. They reported on it. You see the Russian flag flying, and that building is completely destroyed. It's done. Look how beautiful that building is on the left. Let me back that up a second. I mean, we're talking about mostly such beautiful buildings all over Ukraine that have been destroyed. And yes, this is Ukraine, Crimea. Look at that building on the left. It's beautiful. So that's how Russia handled it, and Smedley did. Mostly peaceful missile strike. That's right. So Ukraine responded to that. Now we're going to talk about some things. What happens now? Okay. Well, first of all, Zhenya will speak about this in a moment, but due to the missile strikes from the response 48 hours ago, 398 towns within the regions of Rivne, Zhytomyr, Kyiv, Dnipro, and Kharkiv have had their power cut off because of the attacks on the energy facilities. 398 towns lost power. I remind you guys, I was talking to my Ukrainian friend 2 days ago, and I told you that Nazhenya, another buddy of mine, and he was telling me, he says, Greg, they're going to start hitting our electricity and our power again. We already know. So make sure when you get here, you bring plenty of power banks in addition to what we already have stored up. They know it. They're well aware and they're prepared for it. It's terrorism is what it is. And Jane, you'll speak about that in just a moment. Zaporozhye nuclear power plant today reported that Russian military is doing damages to the internal systems that are in the control centers. And you say, well, how do you even know that? Because Ukrainians, although very few, they've minimized the staff there. Very few Ukrainians left, but they're still working there. They get the messages out somehow. So some messages came out today that internal systems, I mean to run the plant, are being damaged by Russian military because they're just roaming around there doing whatever they want. And it's like a movie, guys. If something happens internally and they don't like it, they absolutely will shoot somebody. They will eliminate them. Where does the bullet go? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of goofiness that happen that nobody ever sees. Can't Ukraine hit their power grids, or is that a no-no for Ukraine, but fine if Russia does? So, yeah, United States has told Ukraine that they can't hit things like that, although we're kind of what we're talking about tonight. We're coming to the point now where some of this stuff's not going to matter anymore because Ukraine's fighting for their life. And I want to remind you of Ukrainian culture. Ukrainians, even the military, yeah, they have their problems. Every military does. But as a whole, they're really good people, and they don't want to kill innocent people. They want to kill the enemy, the soldiers that are invading, of course. But they're just not terroristic people. They're not. They're peaceful people, by culturally and sociologically speaking. Very peaceful. So this is happening at Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. Now, we've had some adjustments on the U.S.-Ukraine relationships. You may say, well, hold on. I think everything's going good. No, it's going fine. But, folks, I remind you of what Peter Pavel said. The president of the Czech Republic, who was the general for NATO, he said, we have until November 2024 to win the war. This man, I believe, is 100% accurate and will turn out to be prophetic. It is written articles. I streamed about it 6 months ago. Peter Pavel. In fact, I think he was the thumbnail. He called it. He says, as we approach elections in the United States and in Europe, many European nations also in 2024 having elections, the support for Ukraine will waver due to political happenings on the inside of the countries, respectively. He is 100% correct. 100%. We're seeing it here in the United States. I heard it personally last week in Washington, D.C. We will see it in European nations, according to Peter Pavel. No reason not to believe him. He's a sharp fellow and a very good friend of Ukraine. So Zelenskyy came to the UN. We covered that and shared with you what he said. He then went to Washington, D.C. And you may or may not know this. However, I'm going to tell you, Zelenskyy had a prescribed time slot today to speak to a joint session of Congress. Okay? In fact, here he is walking in. where is he at? Zelenskyy. You hear the reporter? Holler at him. What's your message today? Listen.
President Zelenskyy, what's your message to Congress?
Here's Zelenskyy. There's his team. There goes Yermak coming in. So you heard the reporter yell out, what's your message to Congress today? Folks, he was scheduled to speak. So winds are shifting. Speaker McCarthy didn't allow it. Okay? I don't have nothing to say about McCarthy. I don't have nothing to say about any of those guys. All I'm telling you is Zelenskyy was scheduled to speak. McCarthy, of course, being the leader, was the one that said, you're not speaking. And he gave a reason. We don't have time. So how do you have, how do you not have time when this is the top or one of the top issues happening in the world that America is caught right in the middle of it? How do you not have time? They had time. Come on. They can do whatever they want to do. It's the stinking legislative branch of the United States, the highest offices in the land. They can do whatever they want. I think there's much more going on. And we're going to see. I'm just telling you. See, last time, I put the picture there last time. Flag, hands up, great speech, McCarthy. Yeah, McCarthy, that's who it is. So that's what happened there. And you're going to hear Zhenya about that in a moment. Segments of conservative faction U.S. are adamantly opposed military aid to Ukraine, playing politics with national security. Yes, that's true 100%. Smedley, you're also right. Trying to keep people from shutting the government down on October 1st. There's a lot going on. And I remind you guys, if we go back to what House Representative Sparks told me last week, it is because the United States right now on the inside, on those closed doors, it's really fragmented on its support and it's teeter-tottering. And I mean, we're hearing it right from the inside. The rest of the world doesn't know that, but you're here with me. I'm telling you the truth. That's what's going on. So, now, I'm going to stick by this for right now. I had some of you guys message me, and I know that there is an article out on Reuters, and I know there is an article out on NBC. I know it. I'm standing by this right now. Why? Because, first of all, President Biden himself has not confirmed it. The articles that you guys are reading are confirmed by one congressional member and 3 other people close to the situation. Well, Biden whispered in his ear, we're going to send you the ATACMS. Okay, great. Until we hear Biden physically say, if possible, we're sending them. Do not listen to any congressional person. Do not listen to 3 sources close that had to remain unnamed. Come on. Now, we could wake up tomorrow and Biden's going, we're sending them. Okay. There's no timeline. 0. That's even from the sources. No timeline. And no confirmation, but most likely the short range. Okay, so that's all we know. So until we have a real yes and a real date, we're going to leave it right there. Yeah, Budanov hinted at it, all of that. Great. For sure it's in the talks, but you guys know how we operate here. And for the most part, we've never had to go back and say, oh, we were wrong on that one. As of right now, this second, 9:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, September the 22nd, 4:40 a.m. in Ukraine, there is no guarantee from the President of the United States that those systems are going. And until he says it, we have to wait and see. Now, don't misunderstand me. I hope he does a midnight press conference and says, we're sending them, and we're sending the long range, and we're going to send all that we have. I hope so. 1,000,000%. But we're here to share truth as we know it. I don't want to be a person, and Jania doesn't either, where we go out and we say all this stuff and then it's wrong. That's I don't want to do that. CNN, yeah, they're all saying it, but here's the thing. They have 3 unnamed sources and 1 congressional member who won't give their name. So until we see it, okay, first step will be Biden has to say it. Because you guys look this up. Only President Biden can say yes to that. I don't know how it works in all the defense of the president, but he's the one that has to say yes until we physically hear it. And I'm not a naysayer. I hope it's yes right now, but it's no right now. And then we'll see the dates and we'll see the ranges. M1 Abrams, yes, they're going to be there within 10 days. Unless announced by Pentagon. Thank you, sir. Zelenskyy needs to do leadership training for our useless band of clowns in DC. That would be correct. My question is, they say small package. How many is a small package? Exactly. You know, I'd rather us in a week from now, and we've had the Pentagon say, yeah, we're sending 5 systems and X amount of supplies, and this is the range, and then we can talk about it. But until that happens, 576 days in this war, one thing we've learned, that unless we have proof, don't believe it until we have proof. I can tell you this. When everybody was wondering if the HIMARS were coming, I was in Ukraine. I saw them. I stood beside them. I watched them go off. I felt the wind. I felt the earth shake. And we would share, not from where we were. Once we'd come back to Khmelnytsky and we were doing some updates, we'd say, oh yeah, HIMARS are good. They're coming. We were behind a Leopard tank on a truck months and months and months ago. We said, hey, we see a Leopard tank. But we were in Ukraine. The 777 systems, see them everywhere, left and right. I mean, you have to find them, or you're there. They're everywhere. So we can say, yeah, they're there. But these political games, especially with the rupture that we are beginning to experience, not only in the United States, Poland and other nations, we really need to pay attention to it very, very carefully. 12 out of 20 Leopard 1A5 tanks, which Denmark handed over to Ukraine, were defective. Minister of Defense, and that comes from the Minister of Defense of Denmark, who said, his name is Troels Lunde Poulsen. I hope I said that right. And I told you guys 2 nights ago that 10 worn out Leopards came from Germany, have to go back to Poland to be repaired. So we're definitely getting B stock or C stock or worn out. And you guys know, worn out stuff's just going to be bad. We can see now air raids receding. So we've got drones flying, and most likely they just put a plane in the air and landed it. Yeah, chill, dude. That's exactly right. How do you announce it? After they hit some headquarters somewhere. That's how you announce it. Exactly. And that's how a lot of the stuff, like the Neptunes, and you guys will have to remind me, but the Scalps and the the Shadow Storm, these longer range missiles that have come, no new Leopard 1s. They are all old. That's correct. They're getting B and C stock on everything. It's like or sink a ship or two and let them see what did it. Now Russia confirmed doubling production of attack drones This came from Yuri Ignat, spokesman for the Air Force today, and it's specifically the Lancets and the Cubes. And I'm not going into all that, but they fly really quiet, and they are basically reconnaissance, and they are drones that are used to distract air defenses. They're very cheap to make, and Russia is doubling them up. And also, the numbers came out. Storm Shadow. Thank you, my UK friends. Storm Shadow. 2024, the budget came out. Russia increasing their defense budget from 3.9% to 6%. And it's significant. Significant. So this is the sample of Lancets or Cubes. And that's actually the Cube specifically right there. Unmanned Complex Cube UAV, the Cube. So this is happening, and it's interesting. Let's go here. Challenges are ahead, and that's what we've been talking about all night. And with that, I want to show you guys something here. All right. Okay. I want to make sure you understand this. Inside of Russia, that is the only place that Vladimir Putin cares that he has at least some semblance of support. He's a dictator. He already has a support of China. He has support of North Korea and Iran. India right now, the largest buyer of Russian fuel in the world. He's fine there. But he has to kind of keep this appearance up that he's a people person and he's a people's president. Elections are coming, I think, April 2024. And we're going to see some challenges ahead. So I want to show you right now what is blanketed all over the Russian media and everywhere that they can push it throughout the world. Like the videos I'm going to show you now from Zabrubin, that's his personal reporter. They're all over Africa. You see plenty of Russian media all over Africa. And yes, voiced over into Swahili or other African languages. They're masters of it through Europe. So this is the picture. So here is, I'll translate it for you, but this is Putin. Hard to hear, but I'll explain it to you. So this is the boss, and he's telling Vladimir Putin, this gentleman on the left was a lawyer, but now he has switched his career to be a computer programmer. And then Putin, he gives him the affirmative, says that's a much smarter decision. So that's that one. So that's all over the media. And then you have Putin being personable with the girl, giving her a hug or a handshake. And then the boy, he doesn't even know how to come back and speak. Now, you may say, well, they're probably actors, Greg. Well, of course they can be actors, most likely. But doesn't matter for the media if they're actors or not. They don't know that. Here we are, getting a little photo op. Handshake. Now he wants to come talk over there, but no, I better leave him alone. Look, smiling and shaking hands. Now, here we go. Listen to me. I'm just trying to tell you guys the truth. President Biden walks out of a Medal of Honor ceremony 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, right in the middle of it, walks right out through the middle of the crowd. And I know they blame it, well, Jill had COVID. Well, if that's your view, he shouldn't have been there at all then. So that is an absolutely illogical argument. No, he was just disrespectful to our military and he walked out on heroes. They play that stuff, folks. They show all over. But then they'll show Putin. And here's Putin today in Novosibirsk. Nizhny Novgorod, big city. He was in Nizhny Novgorod, and he went to the Department of Veteran Affairs. He went and met with veterans, and he was talking about how great the veterans comes into their office. Of course, they're prepared. He's talking about how great their system is for taking care of their veterans and how great a work they're doing. And then we come to this one. Now he's saying, I want to show you guys what's interesting here. This was yesterday, and here Vladimir Putin actually signed this class battle. So, I mean, who knows what they're going to do now, but for sure they're not going to wash it off, but they're going to seal it up somehow. Vladimir Putin's autograph. So this is what they show. Now, do you want to know what they showed on Russian TV today about our country? All right, here you go. They showed this. What's his name? Lula, the president of Brazil. I think it's Brazil. Yeah, Brazil. He gets a little upset. President Biden shakes the hand of this African president. I don't know which nation he's from, speaking. He's supposed to go over and shake Lula's hand, and he doesn't. Watch what Lula does at the end. A little hand wave, like, forget you, dude. This, I'm not saying this to jump on. Whatever. I've got my own opinions on that, and you have yours. That's not the purpose of this program. Purpose is to show you the truth. That's what they're showing at Russian media about Putin. This is what they show about Biden.
ILO perspective, we are so committed to really be part of this initiative, and I can promise.
Now, the comments that they give when they show this is Brazil. Thank you. I knew it was. Thank you, Brazil. They're going. The commentators are talking. Does he even know where he's at? Why is he looking so strange? And
that we will do our very best not to deceive you, Mr. President.
Get the handshake. Thank you. We'll salute and walk off the stage. Lula, right there. That's what they focused on. Whatever. And I don't do that to be funny or make fun. I just do it to tell you the truth. That's what they're showing there. And then when you hear Russian people, like in interviews or you see it on social media, you go, how can they believe that stuff? Because it's all they see. That's exactly what they see. That ain't Lula. Well, it's somebody from Brazil. Thank you. I'm going to find out his name for me, King. Call him what he is, dirtbag. Yep. Other guy was. Okay, thank you. King Raccoon taking care of me. When I was in Russia, Tim Ryder saying there were homeless amputee veterans living on the streets. Absolutely. Listen, they don't take care of their veterans. It's all a show. It's all a show. The other guy was. Thank you, King. I see Tucker is getting his show shown in Russia starting this weekend. A lot of you guys are talking about that. I will have to check on that. I've seen that 4 or 5 times in the chat. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so it's the BBC saying that they're going to launch a Tucker Carlson show. Russian state TV is promoting him. And Carlson's denying it. We'll see. We'll see. Once again. That's correct, King. Okay, so I was right. Yeah, Lula. That's what I was saying. Lula was the one that blew him off. Brazil. It was not the black guy. He was an African leader. Yeah, Lula. That's what I was saying. Thank you. So, do we know if Biden will be helping Ukraine? Well, as of right now, yes, and he has. And we're hoping it will continue, but there's a lot of bumpiness. Now, we come to Poland. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what Ukrainian media is saying. This is, once again, Morawiecki. I want to tell President Zelenskyy to never again insult the Poles, as he recently did at the UN. Prime Minister of Poland, Morawiecki. The Poles will not allow this, and protecting the Poles' good name is not only my duty and honor, it is the most important task of the government of the Republic. Now, this is what Ukraine is saying. Oh, wrong picture. This is what Ukraine's saying. We have no idea where President Zelenskyy offended him so badly. Now, they're working through it. They're working through it. But it's an issue. You say, okay, well, is that real? Yeah, let me show you this. So I went to find it. I only try to tell you guys the truth. Let me just show you this. This is the Polish news agency. And Ukrainian service, they've got that locked up here on their head. I think if I reload it and we can go to English. There. Prime Minister Morawiecki, our opponents want to defile the Polish uniform based on the film The Green Border. So he's talking about that, and that has nothing to do with Ukraine. But then the second part of this, right here it is. Prime Minister, I want to tell the President of Ukraine never to insult Poles again. It's right here. He emphasized it in a meeting today in Swidnik, or they would call it Zwidnik, I think. There is a war going on for security of Europe. We know this, and we help by sending weapons, by organizing the shipment of weapons, because now we are arming ourselves first of all. The hub in, I can't pronounce their names. Anybody Polish in here, they're going to make fun of me. They're very hard. Zezzo, Rezzo. The Special Logistics Center has worked and is working together with our allies. He then starts talking about the grain deal. I mean, it's legit, folks. Poland, something's happened. That's why I said, even in this slide right here, there's challenges ahead. The face of it is Biden and Putin and Ukraine caught in the middle. But there's a lot of other players like this guy right here. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Poland has been generous. Okay. I agree with you, King Raccoon, on that. It'll be fixed. These are very good friends, and friends have spats, and there are misunderstandings, and there's a lot of pressure in Ukraine right now. One of the reasons, I'm convinced of this, now this one's going to be my opinion, but I believe that one of the reasons that Poland is starting to take a little different stance, for example, we're not sending weapons anymore. For now, we need to make sure we're supplied properly. One of my theories for that is they do see some trouble ahead on the water. They're very smart people. If you've never been to Poland, let me describe Poland to you in 10 seconds. I've been there many, many times, and I'll be there on my way back to Ukraine. Gorgeous, clean, polite, organized. Streets and roads are perfect. It's a really nice country. It's beautiful. And I really like Poland a lot. But they may see something. Secondly, I know they see this. You may say, well, what is that? That, my friends, is a law submitted to the State Duma today at the Kremlin by multiple deputies, senators, stating that they want to put it on the books that the 1991 breakup of the Soviet Union was illegitimate and now not recognizable. So let me explain something to you. You say, well, that's a joke. No, it's not a joke. That would be Ukraine there, the Baltic states, Moldova, Kazakhstan, all these nations that you see added in the colors to the pink. Now, here's the deal. If they change the Constitution again, then Russia, in their minds and to their people will say, listen, it's really our land. That's why when I show you guys these maps like this, right here, you have to really understand something. Lugansk Oblast, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. They're Ukraine. But 6 months ago, Russia changed their constitution and said, it's our land. They're hitting us on our land, our land. We're defending our land. We're reclaiming our land. It's our land according to our constitution. Well, according to the Ukrainian constitution, it's their land, and of course it's their land. But this is what they do. That was 6 months ago, and we see it still going on. So don't take it lightly. And this could be the reasons that that they're saying, hang on. And let me tell you why. And then I'm going to play a Zhenya video for you. Let me tell you why. Because nobody thought Russia would invade Ukraine. Nobody. And I'm sure, unless you were like a military genius and a prophet from the Old Testament, even on that day you first saw the news, it even surprised you. Yes, the military was building up. They're putting some troops on the border. So what? They do it all over the place. But then they invaded. And they really invaded. Not a skirmish. They invaded. We all were shocked. I was in shell shock for 3 days. Do not think for a moment they won't roll tanks on Estonia. They will. So we have to pay attention to things like this. And we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, not send new weapons, send old stuff, but it's now rearming itself because if Ukraine loses its next. Accurate. So that's where we're at. Ezekiel 38, 39, you're correct. If you guys are in here and you don't hang out in the Bible much and say, it's not my cup of tea, go read those 2 chapters. Come back and talk to me. Very interesting. Now, Zhenya talking about this. Let's get to him. Actually, before I do that, we have a lot of viewers in Canada. Canadian friends, Zelenskyy with Trudeau. You know what I like about these guys? And I know there's political things people don't agree with. We're not here to talk about that. But you know what? Trudeau took his iPhone, popped it up, and popped the video. I just like how they talk to each other. Really, really good here.
I am so glad to be here on the Parliament Hill with President Zelenskyy. 18 months ago, Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine began, and Canada was there from the very beginning with military, humanitarian, and financial assistance, and with sanctions against those responsible for this brutal war. Notre appui est inébranlable. Volodymyr, I can tell you right now, our support is never going to waver.
Thank you so much, Justin, and thank you to all Canadians for all the support. And Canada has always been among those standing with us. We feel your support that comes from heart, and we are grateful for it. Ukrainian community of Canada is an integral part of Canadian society. We are really proud of Canadian Ukrainians. They form a solid foundation for our special relations, our special bond. An ocean might separate our nation, but the main thing that there are no walls between us.
Vladimir, in Canada, you will always have a partner, and in Canadians, you will always have friends. Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.
You know, I just appreciate that. They're just talking. There's no poster there, just talking their iPhone and holding it with his own hand. It's just real. I like that. So I see you guys talking. Don Gentilini knows this was his world he worked in the 80s as a missionary there in the Eastern European region. Putin's game from the beginning. He's doing what he said he would, following Dugin's philosophy that blames U.S. for everything in the world, gives excuse for Russia to invade and take over. It's exactly right. That was the strategy from the get-go. Tim Ryder, excellent point here. The book, A Riddle Wrapped Up in an Enigma by Nevin Gusak, claims that the break with USSR was just a ruse to disarm the West. It's tonight was just, I just said update on the title because there was so much we were going to look at that was interesting. Now, a couple of things for Virginia here. This is why we were a couple minutes late starting tonight. I was getting this video loaded in. Here is Zhenya talking about Zelensky's trip to the U.S. Let's start with that one. Here he is.
What kind of aid Ukraine will have. Visit of President Zelensky to the United States. Important moment. I believe it's we have a discussion over here. Yes, we know there is some disagreements when it goes about what kind of aid Ukraine will have and from United States this time and the future. But we really trust that people who has power, the both parties, Republicans and Democrats, are realizing what do we have now and what we will have in future, closest future, because we see all the threats from Russia, their leaders, and they're threatening that, and they started to attack our power grid system, energetic system, and already a couple days ago we had the first attack of this autumn when kids, old people, hospitals and schools and so on got no power, was disconnected because of the attack to our system of electric system. So, and we trust that with all with disagreements, all the possible topics which can be used for creating positions before elections, for the elections, which is coming, will be used the proper way, and Ukraine will get more a defense system supply, will get more support for protecting our kids, our people, and our country when we at this time, this autumn. So, and yes, for people who want to know more, there is a lot of talks about what's going on in the United States, what's going on with these disagreements and possible crisis which may be created by these disagreements. Let's say different points of view on the aid which Ukraine got and in the past and will get in the future when it goes to the visit of President Zelensky.
So there you have it. That's Zhenya talking, and he's telling you what they're talking about on the inside. I can just tell you this. They're very concerned with what's happening, not only in D.C. I mean, they hear it all, guys. They hear it all. The war's getting long. They're getting very, very tired. And there's no end in sight. They're doing their best to fight against corruption, to clean the country, to fight a media war, and to fight a war where the invader is killing their civilians every day. And it's difficult. So when you start to hear the possibilities, maybe aid's going to slow down. You've got one more year. As it gets closer to the election, America will become more unstabilized looking out because they've got to focus so much on looking in. United States government may even shut down. I mean, it's weighing on them. So that's that you're hearing that directly from Ukraine. Now, what about Poland. Zhenia's thoughts on Poland.
Situation with the grains and the blocking the export of the grains through the Poland or to the Poland, or blocked by Poland and the other one or two countries attempts to do it, and when it goes about exporting the grain to Europe, everything will be okay. And people who are interested to make this as a conflict, to make it, to use it to make Ukraine weaker, and the support of Ukraine to stop the support of Ukraine from the side of European Union or Poland. Yes, all of this, surely Putin and Russian propaganda people and all the Russian leaders are interested to support all of that. So they will be using all possible ways and open windows to do it. And yes, we had a conflict with when it started, but it's not the conflict. Let's say nothing serious has happened yet, and I believe it will be fixed just now, or I believe it's already fixed. And yes, we believe in the world and relationship between countries based on the respect and based on the law. There is international law, and if something wrong, we have this the way our civilization is using when it goes between countries. We may discuss it on the court, let's say, and it's yes, in the European countries does it regularly, in the other countries, because this is the way not to fight. And but I believe it just was using and making this wave to create a terrible picture, like about Ukraine or something like that. There is nothing principle will be changed, I believe, between Ukraine and Poland. Ukraine and Ukrainians and our nation are so thankful to people and of Poland, and to all the President Duda and to this nation and other nations who supported and helping now the Ukraine and refugees and helping us with the weapons. So this position will never be changed, and we will be forever thankful for that. It's nothing about that. But when it goes about the law, there is regulation, there is agreements, and everything should be according agreements which was made before, and that's it. So I don't know really what to discuss in this area. Where the country who believes in the serious relationship between countries.
There you have it, folks. That's directly. He sent me that just right before the stream. This is within 90 minutes. That's the up to the date. They're not worried about it. Ukraine and Poland have the tightest of relationship. They're having a spat right now. So they're confident all's going to get worked out. Don't worry about it. We're going to be buddies. The grain will take care, the weapons, whatever it may be. Our relationships will be okay. Now, I can tell you guys this. You were wondering earlier, so I can tell you this now. I just got this information in. This is Colonel General Romanchuk. Colonel General Romanchuk. He is the commander of the Zaporizhia Direction Armed Forces of Russia. He was in the headquarters today, and he was injured. Not killed, but he was injured. He was the highest ranking official there, Colonel General Romanchuk. So I know you guys were talking about that earlier. Now, one more video from Zhenya tonight, and well, this one's cool. So all of you that are here, our church, all the people that donate, give money, buy supplies, everything that you guys do, be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, supporting and loving, caring. You feel like you get to know us personally. All of those things, we thank you. Okay, let me show you a little bit of what you guys, all of us together, people of faith, people who just care, people looking for truth, all of us together. Beautiful. Look what we're doing.
And one more good news, the short video I want to share. We got, somebody shared about our organization, and our help, the help of our team, I mean international team, the you and us, that we helping soldiers. And there is a military hospital in close to Khmelnytsky, and it's most of the people there are the military people who've been wounded or got some trauma or lost arm or leg or there, and people getting help there, medical help. So and there is a needs there. So, and one of the section, let's say the part of this hospital, there is a people, soldiers who are partly disabled or cannot walk, temporary or different stations. So, and one of the relatives heard about us, called, reached me, and she got my phone number, and she requested the help that her brother, who been wounded, and not just wounded, he lost, temporary, he's disabled, he cannot walk, cannot talk, in a really bad condition yet. So she said that a lot of soldiers there needed her help, and even like adult diapers and different stuff like this, some medicine, and we had it, we found some, and so we found like 4 boxes, seems to me, and different stuff, and we decided to visit them to help all the way we can. And so I want to share it, and we already, after that visit, we already preparing the next one, and I believe tomorrow we'll go there with a new portion of help, the aid. So thank you. It's the one of the direction we help our military guys, our heroes. So one more time, thank you.
Sure.
So, we're helping bringing the aid to the hospital, ready to live. And here is our team, good team. Yeah, it's inside the hospital, we left, and yeah, we used this time the youth group. Thank you.
So pretty cool there. He took some kids down there and delivered some aid to the hospital, helping some soldiers, and tomorrow they're going again. Now, one last one, and then we'll show you a really cool video from the front. And so this is cool. Yeah, JJB, I'm sorry for my Australian friends. It's not a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night stream. It's a Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning stream in the land down under. So you're going to see a video now where all of us together, we purchase things, we purchase equipment, we get it to our friends on the front. These are some of our friends that are fighting in the trenches down there in Zaporizhia region, where Ukraine's making a really good push with the counteroffensive. And they just give us a thank you for helping them out. Zhenya voiced them over for you tonight.
Good afternoon. The 67th Separate Rifle Battalion of Territorial Defense welcomes you. At the moment we are in Zaporizhia, we would like to thank our friends Evgeny and Greg and their team for the fact that they have repeatedly helped and are helping our battalion with the supply of vital things that helps us carry our combat missions as well. Guys, well done, thank you. Take a low bow at the thanks and let God bless you and protect you. Together we will finish this war faster and rebuild our dear Ukraine. Thank you very much. Glory to Ukraine.
Pretty cool there. Now, both of those gentlemen, I know them very well, very personally. Earlier in the war, folks, they were very sick and didn't even have the right amount of supplies and food. And Zhenya and I got really close to the front to help those guys, and that built that relationship. And now you can see it's first name basis and we're buddies forever. So I will definitely be seeing them again. I can't wait. I mean, listen to me. Those guys are right on the front. And of course, they came back, or it was quiet to make that video, but they're right there at the push. Really good soldiers. So thank you for that, King Raccoon. MXSTY, giving goods to Ukraine, try the world. You're a great man, Greg. No, I'm just getting old, man. Just getting old. So here you go, guys. This one you'll like. Let's do this. We'll sign off with this. That's a SU-24. King Raccoon, thank you for that, friend. Much appreciated. King Raccoon actually is working on something. Let me call him out right now. We're going to work on doing a joint stream between Great Britain, myself, and actually Ukraine. We're working on something special. See what we can unfold with that. SU-24 filmed from some guys down the front, flying really low. Ukrainian soldiers, Ukrainian airplane. Just to look at the front. And this is exactly what it looks like. It's very cool. She's flying low.
По корректуре що?
You know what? They're no different than American soldiers or any other soldiers. You see those planes fly overhead? Whew. And did you hear the radio beep? It goes beep beep, and there's a little information. That's how it is when Jane and I are running with our friends. We'll get the beep, and they'll say it. Okay, hey, planes are coming. And man, when that thing flies over your head that low, and I know a lot of you guys are vets, and you know, whew, it's like the old song, I felt the earth move under my feet. I'm going to tell you, it's awesome. Well, there you are, guys. I'm going to grab a little rest and head to the airport early in the morning. We'll see you on Monday evening. Unless something goes goofy, I'll holler at you from Los Angeles. Make sure you have the notifications on. Thank you for liking, putting a comment there, lots of chat. Everything helps get the message out, and we appreciate you guys very, very much. You be blessed, and we'll see you very, very soon. Good night.
Слава Україні! Героям слава!